Okay, this is the third and final video about all these photos. I want to put one up that I talked about last time just to make one more point. There has been a lot of scrutiny about that anchor that was in his boat and how it had a metal hook on it, but it didn't have any rope tied to it or chain tied to it. And Scott had said, well, there was rope in the boat. Now, there were two. So one of them was back here in the back near the motor. And I don't know boating well enough, so someone help me. This one back here, there's in one of the earlier photos, there's one that's back here next to the motor. It's kind of down, wrapped around the battery. It's a red rope. And the guy who sold the boat testified that that was the rope that came with the boat. And that's the one you use, like when you're going to tie the boat up to the dock or whatever, you use that. That's the rope he used when he was putting the boat in and out of water. That's what he tied to the dock. There's a rope up here that in this picture, it's hard to tell, but it is more of a tannish brown color. And it's up at the front and it looks like it's tied to a little hook. And then my assumption is that this would be where you would drop your anchor. Again, I don't know this type of fishing boat. I don't know where you would drop your anchor, but there was an extra rope here. And the guy who sold him the boat testified he did not, that rope was not there. He did not sell that rope with the boat. So it only came with one rope, which was back here. He did not sell this rope with this boat. So my assumption, I do not know if I'm correct. I don't know this. Garagos asked this question. Was there a tan rope? No. Was there a rope? Was there an extra rope? Were there two ropes? There weren't. So this could very well have been a rope that Scott put in there. And then because he never really stopped to fish, I mean, let's just admit that. The guy never really stopped to fish. He wouldn't have dropped anchor. Now, maybe if he did drop anchor, he would have tied his anchor to this rope or the other rope. I don't know. But there were two ropes on board. There were three things entered into at least this part of the evidence file. So in this one evidence file, there were three things that were labeled Scott's internet searches. And these are on December 8th, which is the date we were told that Scott was looking at internet searches of the marina. And sure enough, so here's this one. This almost kind of looks like a photo that he pulled up to look at maybe where the marina is, where's the parking. I don't really understand this. It looks like a map and then the location of where the marina ramp would be. This is him pulling up a picture of like the parking lots so he could see where he would park in relation to the boat ramp. And then this is a screenshot of what I would assume back then we didn't really have like our phones. We didn't really have Google Map. We had to probably use like MapQuest or something. So this looks like this was a map that he may have pulled up. Again, these were all just labeled in a file that says Scott's internet searches, and they're all on the date where we were told he was searching things for the marina. There was testimony that said that and I mentioned this in an earlier video, that he looked for all kinds of different things, which obviously he did. And there was conversation about him looking up tidal, like the tides and those kinds of things. But I'm going still through the evidence. Maybe it's in there, but I haven't found anything that verifies that that's what he was actually looking for. There is, on cross-examination, there was some banter about him not looking at that. And maybe it was like a pop-up or there was something else that he was looking at. I do not know for a fact. Now, this is the boat ramp, and it's hard to tell because this is really far away. And this is just a standard boat ramp. You would back down, like there's a slight downgrade where you would back in. And so to launch his boat, Scott would have pulled down. He would have gotten in the boat. He would have motored himself over to the side, over here, or over on this side over here, and tied the boat to the dock. Then he would have gotten back in his truck and driven up to the parking lot, leaving the boat here. There was a witness. His name is Yuri. He was on the deck. He's actually in the A&E, the one that's showing on Hulu. In that documentary, they mention him. And he was on the dock, and he said where Scott tied his boat, he could see right in it, and he didn't see anything in the boat. The part that I don't know whether or not she was in the boat, but if she were, then what would happen is that there would be a time where she was tied to a dock on either side and left alone, the boat left unattended while Scott drove up. And again, I don't know, the parking lot could be 100 yards away. It could be down and around and past the trees. I don't know how far away it is. Someone who lives nearby could probably say that. But there could be maybe a 5-minute period of time where he's left his boat unattended with a dead body in it during the middle of the day. So again, he's stupid and brazen, but is he that stupid and brazen? Like, this is what confounds me. And this is just another side of this, right? So you can see how this ramp goes down. You would have to back down the ramp, put the boat into the water. And then if there were people up here, right up on this deck here, all of these out here, these are all boats. These are all other boats. And in the marina, someone's come into the comments a lot of people live on these boats. Some of these boats, people live there or they're vacationing there. So although we're like, it's empty, no one's going to be there. There's a lot of boats, like all of these. And when he drove out, he would have to go past all of these boats in a no wake area. So he would go very, very slow, putter, 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 past at least, maybe not hundreds, but at least multiple dozens of boats until he goes out into the open water. So this is pretty risky to leave a boat with a dead body parked here. This also has an incline or a decline. So if someone were standing up here, they'd be able to look right in the boat. So if he did this and he did it exactly as we think, he's either just really, really ballsy or he's just the dumbest motherfucker ever. Both of these things could be true. And last, let's talk about the lures. So this was the lures that were purchased at Big Five. There is a receipt. We see the bag. These lures were purchased and then never opened. And so that is also a point of the prosecution saying he said he was fishing, but he never even opened the damn lures. How are we to believe he was fishing? Again, I don't know that he was fishing, but here we go. Here are the lures he was supposedly bought and never used. But also submitted into evidence was Scott's tackle box. So even though he bought new stuff, he had plenty of old stuff. This is probably just a guy who just constantly wants new stuff. And there were some fishermen that came into the comments that said, damn, I buy lures that go unpackaged for like years. And if it's anything like me, I mean, I've got clothes in my closet that have tags hanging on them that I bought a year ago. So I get it. It's not right or wrong, but I'm just saying. Here is his tackle box. And so I had asked in an earlier video, is it possible that there was a lure in here that he could have used and not had to open any of the newer ones? And lo and behold, in the evidence photographs, there is this. This is exhibit 172. And this is the title of it. It is the sliding sinker / hook used for sturgeon fishing. So this was one that they did find that I don't know if it was on the rod or if it was in his tackle box, but apparently this was the defense's case for that's why he didn't have to open the other ones because he already had one that he was capable of using. And this was for sturgeon, which Scott claimed he was fishing for. So again, a lot of confusion, but I hope this helped. I think it's helpful to look at the pictures and kind of hear both sides and see for yourself. If you're like me, you're a visual learner. And so it helps to have these kinds of things to help you piece it together, or we may have just confused it even more. Keep watching. There's so much more. You guys, it just takes a lot of research in between all these videos. So I know I still have to do the jury selection. I still want to do the witnesses, the people who said they saw her in the neighborhood. So I do think that there's still a lot more stuff I want to cover. Thank you for continuing to come back. I will keep trying to research and get you more information.